In community, rather, I can find my confidence, and your curiosity can affirm it. Early in my career, I led a large-scale event that did not go exactly as planned. I'm lying to you, it was terrible. And when I debriefed the event with my manager, I just knew that she was going to run down the list of every mistake I had ever made, probably from birth. But instead, she opened with a question. What was your intention? I was surprised but relieved. She knew that I was already beating myself up, and that question invited me to learn from my own mistakes instead of damage my already fragile confidence. Curiosity invites people to be in charge of their own learning. That exchange, it helped me approach my next project with the expectation of success. Permission, community, curiosity. All of these are the things that we will need to breed the confidence that we'll absolutely need to solve our greatest challenges and to build the world we dream.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everybody. I'm so glad to see everybody tonight. Thank you for joining me tonight on Real Talk with Jean Price. I might be having a little reverb that I hear. I'll keep going and maybe my production team can fix that for me. But I'm so excited to have everybody join me tonight. Listen, I want you to like, I want you to comment. How about this? I want you to subscribe to Real Talk with Jean Price on YouTube. We want you to be a part of our family of Real Talk. And it is so amazing, this show. I've been working with my team for so long, and we have such a great rapport working together. And we're looking to explore and do other things in the fall. You don't want to miss. We're going to be planning our live show, which will be coming up very shortly this fall. We're excited about that. But without further ado, I want you to invite everybody to engage yourselves into this conversation. I love entrepreneurship. My husband is an entrepreneur. I have several businesses myself. And it's not just being an entrepreneur, but for me, it's helping people. So that's what being an entrepreneur means to me. But at this time, I want you to help me welcome my guest to the show, Candace Simon, the owner of Blessed Impress. Hello,
Hello, everyone.
Candace. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing great. To my production team, I don't see Candace on the side with me. I don't know if that's okay, but there you go. Candace, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Oh, okay. To my viewing audience, Candace, thank you again for being on Real Talk. Tell us a little bit about yourself so we can get started.
Well, I'm a full-time hairstylist. I also make my own products. I have my own product line. It's all natural hair care line. It consists of a growth oil and also a hair tea. I've been using these products on all my clients' hair for the last, oh my goodness, probably like 10 years I've been using it. But with the hair tea, this is a new product I have created not only to promote stronger hair, but ensure that my client's hair is, growing throughout the process of, of the year, whether it be winter time or the fall or the springtime. What we do, we use the products every day to ensure that the hair is healthy and thriving every day.
Well, I'm glad you talked about that, Candace. I want to dive right in. How did you begin the process? Let's start there. What made you want to start your own hair care line?
At first, I would be using a lot of products on my hair, and I experienced a lot of shedding, a lot of hair loss. I was like, no matter what I try, nothing was working. I was like, let me try to make something that is natural, but with not a whole lot of chemicals that can only, improve my hair, but my
Mhm.
clients' hair. So it took me with the hair oil. It took me 10 years to perfect it,
Mhm.
and as time goes by, I saw growth in my hair. I stopped perming and putting like harsh chemicals in my hair. I kept it natural, and I cut it off like a boy first to
Mhm.
ensure, you
Mhm.
know, my new growth. And anything that I put on my client's hair, I put it on my hair first
Okay.
to see. And then within 4 months, I saw my hair was a big old afro from shaving it off. I was like, well, if this could happen for me, let me try my clients. And since I have been doing that, I have clients with alopecia, hair loss, thinning, and we see the improvements of their hair. That's how I started. And then, so far it's been doing extremely well.
That's so good. I want to talk about that a little bit, Candace, because women, like I'm 2 years from 60, and we go
Oh,
through.
wow.
Yes, and
You
people
look great.
Candace, hair loss or hair shedding, is it part of menopause? Is it not? Because women my age are going through different hair phases, if I can call it that. It's just, I went through that, the shedding, the loss. It's like just trying to navigate what's going on chemically in our body. So how do you navigate menopause and hair loss?
Well, well, so far what I've seen with my I don't like this in my older clients, my mature clients.
Yes.
They ask me this question all the time because they start off as like, when I was younger, I had all this hair, and now that I'm getting up there in age, my hair is so thin, it's lifeless. It's like a change. I was like, first of all, that is not only what you put on top of your body, it's what you put in your body. So I always tell them, drink a lot of water. First of all, you gotta be hydrating yourself constantly. And also with the hair products too, you have to watch to see what works best for you. That's why I keep all my products natural. So I put them on a regimen, especially with the hair tea. Can I
Yes.
can I show you to you?
Yes,
Okay.
please. I was going to ask you about that.
I'm gonna take one out and show you. This is the hair tea. It's
Okay.
basically a tea in a package.
Okay.
What I explain to my clients, you boil hot water,
Mhm.
and you get a 7-ounce glass. You drop the water with the tea in the glass. You
Okay.
get a spray bottle, whether you have braids, natural, or if you have like protective styling, you could just take
Mhm.
the same bottle and spray your hair every day.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this is the hair oil. Also,
Right.
put it close so you can see. This is the hair.
Right.
It has rosemary, it's a
Mm.
black castor oil, it has mint, everything that is going to protect your hair follicle. Because
Mhm.
when you get older, your hair kinds of get weaker. So we
Yeah.
have to bring back that follicle back to life. So it's always what you put on top of it. And if you put in like good ingredients in your hair and have a whole lot of fillers like chemicals, your
Mhm.
hair is not going to strive like that. You need
Wow.
to build back the shaft of the hair.
Okay.
And usually, when I look at like my mature clients, the edges and the
Mhm.
middle is the problem area.
Yes.
I intend to tell them, when you spray your hair with a hair tea and you put the oil on, massage.
Massage.
It's
Yes.
all about stimulating the follicle
Mhm.
and the blood flow,
Right.
just like your skin. During the winter time, you might be a little ashy.
Right.
And if you leave it like that, your skin will get drier and drier and drier. Same thing with your hair. If you don't maintain it, what is going to happen is it's going to snap off and continue to be weaker and weaker. But if you put like natural products in your hair, if you're maintaining your hair, if you're building it back from the follicle before you get all this breakage, your hair will
Yeah.
thrive and it will grow and grow. Because
Mm.
most of my clients now, we started off and in 4 months, they see improvement, they see growth. It's like, what is in this? I was like, it's
Wow.
all natural, but it's a process.
So it's for, okay, let me go back. So with the
Mhm.
tea can be purchased online if people wanted the tea. It can be purchased as well as the oil, right?
Well, right now we revamping everything, so we're in the
Okay.
process of
Okay.
doing over our website because you know what, everything you do, you grow.
Mm.
So the hair tea is a new product, and the hair oil we reformulated again, and
Okay.
it's better than the one that was last 2 years when I spoke to you. It's even more
Okay.
better than the other one. The bottle has changed, the formula has improved. You see faster results. But right now, I most of my clients or people who don't know me yet,
Mm-hmm.
they could buy my stuff on IG. They could DM
Oh,
me, and
okay.
I, for right now,
Right.
because my website is going to be back up in September.
Okay. Got it. Got it. So your motto, Candace, is striving to bring out the inner beauty in every individual, right?
Yeah.
How do you define inner beauty?
How do I define inner beauty?
Define. Yeah. What's your definition of inner beauty?
Well, everybody has that one thing that you know that inside of you, like I'm speaking to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, okay, I'm a nice person, right? I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you that, but inside of me, I know there's a queen inside of me. There's
Mm-hmm.
power inside of me. There's
Yes.
anointing inside of me. There's blessings inside of me. And every day I walk out the street or I meet a client, I want to show that that has to come out of me. So
Yes.
inner beauty is not what you look from outside. I can look as pretty as I want with the wig on, the makeup, but if I feel ugly
Mm-hmm.
inside, I don't feel beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know my beauty comes from within from God.
Right.
So
Right.
inner beauty has to shine from within and out. And I value that as, knowing who I am in God. So when I see inner beauty, I see strength. It comes from
Mm-hmm.
strength. It comes from, perseverance, knowing who you are. So if somebody sees you and see you as okay, beautiful, and they hear you speak, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is a beautiful person. Because I have instances where you can meet somebody and they're gorgeous. Their physical features are so beautiful, but when you get to know them, you speak to them, it's not the same. So that light have to
Mm-hmm.
shine outside and inside at the same time. That's
Yeah.
how I value inner beauty.
That's absolutely beautiful, because I think as women, sometimes, Candace, we can be hard on ourselves, right? We can look at ourselves and find all the imperfections about ourselves, and we can do that all day long. And I love the fact that you've taken or you give women the opportunity to see that there's really the inner beauty is really the part that matters. And I think that's so important for us to realize, whether you're talking to somebody older or younger, our beauty really does start from within ourselves. And I appreciate the fact that with your business, Blessed and Pressed, that you emphasize that. I would love, like, say, if I was one of your clients, I know when I walk through that door, I'm gonna feel like an amazing woman, not just after what you do to my hair, but from the inside. That
Yes.
encouragement, that reminder. I think is so important to remind each other as women that you know what. First of all, we're made in the likeness and the image of Christ. So
Yes.
thank God for that. So I appreciate so much that you do that. But I have a question as far as business. There's such a rise, right, in women-owned businesses. I mean, like never, never before. How do you feel as an entrepreneur?
Versus how many black businesses or like women businesses
Yeah.
there?
Like, how do you feel? Because that is a great accomplishment to own your own business. How do you feel about that?
Okay, let me just touch base on my little story.
Sure.
Um, right in between COVID, and I was working at my job for 11 long years, and
Mm.
I was doing hair on the side, working on my job. I'm making my hair products, but God was just pushing me to move because I
Mm-hmm.
was too comfortable at that time. And then when He pushed me, I couldn't go back. So I left my job and dove into my business full time. And it's been over 2 years since I have been doing my 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 hair
Mm-hmm.
business and my product business. And let me tell you, it has been it has been an experience. It has been good and it
Yes.
has been life changing.
Okay.
Sometimes it have good days in business and have bad days, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
give it up to go back to work
Okay.
for somebody else because I see how I have grown as a hairdresser. I have seen how my products has grown, and I will encourage anyone. Everyone has a God-given gift.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find that one thing that you're good at, you use that one thing and
Mm-hmm.
you build a business around that.
Right.
And you got to do what you love. I didn't like working for somebody else. There's nothing wrong
Right.
working for somebody else.
Right.
But with my personality, I love doing hair. I love working with my hands. I
Mm-hmm.
love making products. And I use that to support myself and grow a business. And it's surrounded by God. Everything I do, I put
Amen.
God in it. And I have
Right.
seen the growth. During the years, I have seen the growth of the business. And I'm proud to be a black owned business.
Mm-hmm.
And not only a black owned business, a Christian black
Yes. Yes.
owned business. As I
Yes.
tell people, without God, you know, the day I left my job,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I was going to leave my job on that day. But God just pushed me in that direction. And since then, the lessons, the growth, the trials, I
Mm.
wouldn't I wouldn't I wouldn't go back for anything. But I see how God has worked through the business, have worked through me, and how you learn. It's a learning experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you said that because I was going to go that direction and ask you about the challenges. And I thank you for being very transparent because people think when you're an entrepreneur, you're not going to have a challenge. You're not going to have, pivots. You're not going to have feel like giving up sometime or question yourself, why did I get started? But I'm so grateful that you're staying the course because you feel, that's what's in your heart. So how did you overcome the challenges? Like you said, how did you get over that? It's got to be your faith in God, your trust in God. Were there any other ways you got over that?
I keep reminding myself why worried when I already put it in God's hands.
Oh, yeah.
And when, it had instances where, okay, I had the paycheck from my job from 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that anymore. I only had the hair business and the products. So I had to ensure myself that you're going to be okay
Mm-hmm.
and remind myself you can't think every day is Christmas because you're gonna have some rainy seasons. And how
Yeah.
you gonna get out that rainy season and the lesson you learn in that rainy season will help you build for the year after the
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't stress. Just take it as a learning curve
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna have times where you be like, oh my, you're gonna be like, okay, fine. Where you get a paycheck at a job, you expect that paycheck, but when you have to pay yourself,
Right.
you have to
Right.
be reminded this is your business. This is what you wanted. You can't take it as okay, a downfall. No, what could you do tomorrow to
Mm-hmm.
make it better instead of stressing about what is not happening now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's, the beauty industry, Candace, is so competitive, right? You know this, you're in it. So many people do hair. A lot of, to your point earlier, hair being natural is the thing, stopping the chemicals. What makes Bless Impress stand out above all others? What makes your business so special?
Well, that's easy for me. It's God. I tell people I will speak about God until the day I die. It's God based.
I love it.
It's God based.
I love it.
And I put everything that I have into my business. And I always say, if it was not for God,
Mm.
if it was not for Him, it would not have been. Because I'm a very reserved, shy person. But I have
Oh.
to say, if it wasn't for God, the business wouldn't thrive. If it wasn't for God, I couldn't have done this. If it wasn't for God, push. If it wasn't for God, encourage me. Like, yes, you could do it. There
Mm-hmm.
is something in you. Don't be scared. You can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would say that to any not any young person, any woman in business, anybody. Just
Mm-hmm.
believe in what you can do. Believe in yourself. Find that one thing that you can do and push forward, and it will happen for you. And that's why I live by. Don't
Yeah.
be scared. Just have faith. Once you have faith, that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the growth. Once I stop
Mm-hmm.
trusting God, I saw where my business was going. When I like, sometimes you'd be like, okay, what is going on? I can't do this no more. This is too much stress. You gotta like inventory. You gotta do
Yeah.
stuff for the business. You gotta
Yeah.
promote the business, the social media, and then you're one person. But you're not standing alone. You have God on your side. And once you give him what he needs, he will take care of you. That's how I push forward in my business.
That's awesome. You know, you mentioned your hair care line, and I can only imagine the lives that you've changed. Because our hair is our beauty as women, right? So imagine somebody coming into your shop, sitting in your chair. They have that struggle, as we mentioned earlier, with your hair, and they use your products, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my goodness, my hair is growing. I can only imagine how that has built the help boost the self-esteem through your products and through beauty. Kind of share with us some of the testimonies of
Okay.
some of your clients, right? When they use your hair product and they're like, I mean, what are they saying?
Okay. To me, that's what I live for in my business. When I hear that, that makes my day. Cause I had well, she came earlier today. Actually, I had this new client. She'd been coming to me for like 5 months, and her hair was very thin, very light. It had no body to it, and she was interested in getting dreadlocks. And she was like, I've been going to a lot of people, and you know my hair is still not where I want it to be to start the process. So when she contacted me, I told her first, come to me. Actually, we did a Zoom call, and she showed me her hair and everything. I was like, I will be doing a disservice to you as a hairstylist and a woman to start your locks right now without going through the proper hair care first. I was like, you have to wait at least 4 months before we start the process. So we started her process by deep conditioning and the hair tea and the oils, and then she went home and she did the process. And then we started her locks like 2 months ago, and her hair is full, is thick, is lively. She was like, "Oh, I'm so like, you know, self-conscious of wearing my hair. I always have a wig, and now she's at the stage where she's going on vacation in a few days, and she's wearing her natural hair." And she was showing off today. She was shaking it and she was so excited. She's like, I don't have to wear a wig. I could go on my vacation. I see my hair is striving, my hair is thick. She was like, thank you so much. And that's like the best feeling. Not only because it's my products as a hairdresser, that's the best feeling ever to know that you help somebody be confident in their own natural beauty. I can't hear you.
Thank you for sharing that. That was powerful because you can see just in that it just builds up the appearance of the young lady that you were speaking about. All of a sudden, your self esteem changes. I love the fact that you were able to assist her in what she needed with her hair, because it does make a difference, especially when your hair is coming down, you want to do something, you see yourself like, maybe I can wear my hair that way. And one of the things, well, I'm going to take a commercial break, Candace, but when I come back, I want to talk a little bit more about women that, and you said it when you about this client, when you really want to say take off the wig, or take off, take it all off, and like just see your natural hair, but it's hard to see what it'll look like and go through the process. Because the process, to your point, it took some time with that client. You said it took about 4 months, and you were truthful, you were honest. You were like, no, I think we need to wait. But I want to talk about that when we come back. How does a woman deal with the fact that they have to wait for the beauty to show? We'll be right back.
In community, rather, I can find my confidence, and your curiosity can affirm it. Early in my career, I led a large scale event that did not go exactly as planned. I'm lying to you, it was terrible. And when I debriefed the event with my manager, I just knew that she was going to run down the list of every mistake I had ever made, probably from birth. But instead, she opened with a question. What was your intention? I was surprised but relieved. She knew that I was already beating myself up, and that question invited me to learn from my own mistakes instead of damage my already fragile confidence. Curiosity invites people to be in charge of their own learning. That exchange, it helped me approach my next project with the expectation of success. Permission, community, curiosity. All of these are the things that we will need to breed the confidence that we'll absolutely need to solve our greatest challenges and to build the world we dream.
So sorry. I had to unmute myself. Thank you so much. I just want to welcome back Candace Simon, the owner of Blessed to Impress. This is Candace. Come back to Real Talk. It's been such a great conversation, because I think navigating through hair care, because it's so important to us as women, is a very important topic to discuss. So before we went to commercial break, we were talking about the waiting period. And it is such a difficult, I can speak personally about that. Just recently, Candace, by way of testimony, I just decided that, you know what? I'm not doing a perm anymore. I'm not going to do it. You mentioned hair shedding. You mentioned different things. I began to see hair thinning in my hair. So I decided that I'm not going to, I do get a color, but I don't get a perm. So recently, Candace, I actually took my hair and I took off the perm. I was going to go back to Pixie, do the big chop, but I wasn't ready for that one again. So what I did was, my hair was about down shoulder length. I just took it off to a blunt. I'm about maybe about here now. So it was a big step for me, but I'm glad that I did it, because I really want hair care and I needed to take off the perm, and then it was like dead ends. How do we navigate the waiting period? Because it's difficult, to be honest.
Like I tell most of my clients, well, that's a big thing with my clients. Oh, I want to see my hair long. I want to see the body. I was like, you have to have patience. That's the main thing. Patience. Enjoy the process. Do the routine. You're gonna see it. Like I explained it very simply for them. Not only to my women clients, my guy clients. Those
Mm,
are the ones. I think, I'm sorry to say this, but the men are very, very impatient more than the women clients, because they want to see their hair longer than what it is when they start the process. I was like,
mhm,
as I say simply, it's like a plant. When you plant a seed, it doesn't shoot up one time. It comes from a small bud into a bigger plant. So you're gonna see a process, but it's gonna take time. It starts slowly and then boom.
wow.
It's
Okay.
all in the routine. It's like concentrate on your routine. And
That's
then when you see the result, it'll be worth it.
right. Thank you for that. I want to circle back to the entrepreneurship part of what you do and kind of like navigate. What advice can you give other women who want to start their business, whether it's hair care, might be eyelashes, it could be anything. What advice can you give them? I know when I opened up my nonprofit, the first one, the first one, my goal was that I wanted to see women have an opportunity to start all over again. That's why it's called beginning anew, because sometimes in life you need to start fresh. So, what advice can you give other women who are considering starting their own business?
Find that one thing that you're good at. Not like you could see somebody doing something and you think that that's something you can do. No, that's not how it
Mm,
works. You
right.
find your skill set, you develop your skill set. First of all, you get the training. First of all, you do your research, you write down your plan. It's not overnight. You have to set your goals. If you want to be, mm, I'm just saying, a cook, and you don't know how to formulate an ingredient list and do ounces and
Right.
and come up with a recipe, or how to, like, if something is too salty, how to
Hmm.
fix it. Find a way. If you say you want to be a cook, you never had the training, go get your training first.
Okay. Right.
Okay, but you have to know your skill set.
Hmm. Right.
Find your skill set. If you say you want to be a cook, go to school. If you want to open up your restaurant, start a plan.
Yes.
That's most important. You have to have a plan, and then you have to lay it in front of God.
Mm,
Most importantly, because you cannot do it. You cannot run a business by yourself. It's impossible. You need to have your skill set, a team, and you
hmm.
need to put it on the altar
Right.
and
Right.
pray over it. Some people may say, "Oh, I'm not spiritual," but you have to believe in it.
Mm,
Not go be like, "Oh, I'm scared. I don't know if this is gonna work." You can't go into something thinking negative. You have to be
right.
positive. You have
Mhm.
to write down where you see your business going, and you have to be focused on that plan. Focus on things ahead. Anything that is a distraction, you put aside. You
Yeah.
focus on your business. It's like your baby, so you have to make sure you focus on that plan. So it's a girl.
Mhm. Yeah. You know, so much is changing, Candace, in our world. Food prices are high. You can't even hardly watch the news without hearing something going on that's really horrible. How do you think the landscape of women entrepreneurs is going to change in the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, do you think having your own business is going to be sustainable?
I think it is. I really think it is. Like I said, you have to have that focus, and you have to have that mindset of, yes, it's going to happen. Even though when stuff is hard, prices are hard, life cost of living is extremely high. You have to put
Hmm.
yourself out there. So yes, my plan is going to work. And even though when some days I see it going down, tomorrow is going to be better.
Okay. Okay. So you keep that encouragement
Yeah.
right before you at all times.
Yeah, you have to be encouraged. And
Hmm.
like sometimes where you like a lot of businesses, you may have a dry cleaners, I might be a hairdresser, and there's other people who doing the same thing as me, but there's room for everybody. you
Hmm.
know some I can't do everybody's hair,
Right.
but somebody else is there to do it also.
Hmm.
You have to have that mindset that it's going to grow. And if I see my business going down, you have to be ready to take it to the another level. What can I do to improve?
Right.
It's not like sitting in the negativity and saying, okay, this person have a business and I'm in the same business. How mine's gonna be so successful as this other person's?
Right.
You have to remember that person probably worked day and night to build this business, and you have to get in the mindset, okay, what kind of other training can I do? How
That's
can I
right.
push harder? What can
Right.
you always have to be growing. Even with me as a
Yeah.
hairdresser, you cannot keep doing the same hairstyle. I cannot be doing a jerry curl in 2024. That was in the
Right,
80s.
right, right.
So you have
Exactly.
to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business. So
Yes.
you ensure that your business is going to grow, and you're going to ensure that you're going to stand up. Always coming up with new ideas is one other
Mhm,
thing. It's
mhm,
always promoting your business. When
mhm,
I go outside, I promote my business, and even when I'm like with my friends, and I have a way of doing it. You have to be able to speak about your business in every
mhm.
aspect, but you're doing it in a friendly way. You're not
Yeah.
doing it in like you forcing that up the person, but you
Mhm,
just interact and you find out what they like, and you put yourself in that position where you could
mhm.
open doors for yourself also.
Wow. Wow, and you hit the nail on the head because you went in the direction that I was going to go about. I was going to ask you, do you still take classes? Are you still training? Are you learning new hairstyles? Everything you said, Candace, I was going to ask those questions because I'm like, because you have to be number one up to date. You got to be understand the times that we living in. Just like what I do, I'm an HR director, but on the side, I speak, nationally and internationally. And I'm consecrating God. Give me a fresh word. Tell me what you want me to say, and things like that. So that is so powerful. What you said about creating for yourself greatness from the sense of learning and developing and growing. If you had to encourage somebody tonight, Candace, if somebody wanted to be a hairstylist, wanted to come and be an internship, how would you make that process happen?
If they want to intern with me,
Intern with you, yeah.
okay. um, I have to see if this is something that they're just doing for money, or if it's a passion.
Okay.
If they're just doing it for money, I would tell them no, don't do this. You have to have a love for it, because there are gonna be days when you're so tired, you're so fatigued, and then the next day you have a client. You can't cancel on people because you're tired.
True.
That's your job. Like,
Yes.
for example, last night I finished working at 11:30.
Wow.
Yeah, last night. And I that hairstyle took 10 hours to do. It was braids. It was small braids. Very small braids.
Okay.
And then this morning I had a 10 a.m. appointment. Okay, that
Mm,
was my first appointment.
mhm.
Now, if you had a regular job and you tired and you fatigued, you could call out. But
Right.
when you own your own business and when you're doing like a job that, when it comes to hairstyling, you
Mhm.
have to love it. If you
Yeah.
don't love it, I suggest you don't do it. If you're doing it for money, don't
Mm.
do it. Because you'll have times where you have clients that are not the very nicest,
Wow. Okay.
right? But you can now come and say you're not going to take this client because they're not nice, and you don't want this person in your chair. At the end of the day, you're providing a service. You have to
Mhm.
take yourself out of it, provide the service, deal with it, and move to the next. And I said, this business is not for the weak minded. You have to love it, because you're dealing with the community. So if you don't love it and you're doing it for
Yeah.
money, no, don't do it.
Wow. Thank you for your honesty with that. As we're getting ready to wind down and close out the show, Candace, this has been great. You've given us the practical side of how we take care of our hair, but you've always also given us the business side of how to keep growing, how to keep developing, understanding entrepreneurship from your perspective, knowing that there's business strategies you have to put in place. Before we close, I want to talk about one other thing from a personal care practice. What is one way that we as women can boost our self confidence?
One way you could boost your
Boost
self
your self
confidence,
confidence.
you
Yes.
gotta keep saying to yourself, I am a child of God, and nothing that God has created is wrong. Nothing
Mhm.
that God created is false. Nothing that God created is not worth it. You are worth everything that you want. You are a priceless gift.
Mm.
You are
Yeah.
special. When somebody else don't think you're special, you are worth everything. You are special. You are loved. The man upstairs loved you. And you have to know that you are it. No one can tell you otherwise. Whether you have a bad day or a good day, you will always be special. You have to believe that inside of you. And if you don't believe it, it's going to shine through. But once you believe that you are it and you have that confidence, you could do anything in this life.
Well,
I
you know,
believe I am it. That's why
see,
I'm pushing for. I know I'm it. Nobody can tell me I'm not it. I am it.
but see, just like what you just said, that is so awesome because you really do stand on the fact that you know you've been called to this, you love it, it's a passion for you. And see, you having that kind of mindset is very attractive to somebody else. It's like, wait, I can do this too. It helps build up other women and teach them that, you know what, you can be it too. So I just want to thank Candace for being on the show tonight. Listen, you can find her on Instagram. Is Blessed to Impress on IG. There's her signature right there. IG at Blessed Impress Shop. She has products that you want to get to help to promote health growth. Most importantly, to promote hair care. Because you know, Candace, I find that it's not just the growing that we need, it's the care that
Yes.
we need. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to just go ahead and chop it. Let's get this going so I can I can wait out, as Candace said, wait out my 4 months for everything to begin to process. But Candace, thank you so much for being a part of Real Talk. We invite you to come back again. Keep us posted on how you're doing with your shop. Maybe we can collaborate and come up with something. Maybe I'll get with my team. We can promote something with
Thank you.
a service, well, maybe they could win a service in your shop or something. But we could
Yes.
talk about that offline. But listen, Real Talk is always coming up with different surprises and different things. But we would love to collaborate with Candace and help win a world and help build and help women that are entrepreneurs. Thank you again for joining me tonight on Real Talk with Gene Price. We will see you next week, Wednesday at 6:30, where we have real discussions, real topics, and most importantly, we talk with real people. Good night.
Good night.